If you're not unified yourselves, the oppositions, the ops, will come for your neck.
But they don't find the time to think about their country and the big picture. And
I mean, do you
future.
think about your country in the big picture?
Well, you can see videos where we can't even walk straight.
So I was really thinking, okay, he's really going to be the candidate, even though he performed quite horribly in the debate. But
not every woman is fit to be a president.
If you got something to say it to my face.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing a mukbang eating pasta bolognese together with my brother William. We will be discussing the US politics, the elections and everything around it. I'm really looking forward to eating this great pasta and discussing this topic. So let's dive into it.
let's dig in.
The first bite for you guys.
Can't wait.
The meat has such a great texture and it's so juicy, which I really love.
I guess it's just as juicy as the US politics, because if we're keeping it real, there's a lot of mess going on right now. And
yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, the entire world is talking about the US politics and elections, and it's really like a turmoil and so controversial. And like at the last moment, the candidate stepping out of the race and then someone else replacing him. It's really very controversial.
I mean, let's start from the beginning. Joe Biden dropping out, honestly, that was quite shocking to me, because up until the very last day, everyone was like, even himself was like, oh, I'm gonna be the candidate. I think he said only if divine intervention happened, he would drop out. So I was really thinking, okay, he's really gonna be the candidate, even though he performed quite horribly in the debate. But I don't know, everyone was guessing him up. But then for the last moment, or well, not the last moment, but very unexpectedly, Kamala Harris taking over. I mean, I don't know. Did you expect that?
No. I mean, we all know that Joe Biden has not been doing well lately, both mentally as well as physically. You can see videos where he can't even walk straight. The
debate was shocking.
Yeah, the debate was shocking. I mean, he needed help of someone else to get off the stairs. How can someone like that even be a president, especially of the United States, that's such an important country in the world? I mean, we all knew that he was not doing well at all, but he kept going on. And it's also almost time for the nomination of the Democratic Party, so I think no one was expecting
I think they are postponing it, right? But honestly, let's talk about Kamala. Everyone is eating her up. Everyone is acting like she's the best candidate. They are so happy that she's the face of the Democratic Party right now. She got a record amount of donations.
Yes.
I think like 50 million. You know, something is sus there, because how is she raising 50 million? Of course, it's very, it's impressive that she did that. But the lobbyists, the, people behind the scenes that we don't know about, they are really gassing her up. And in my honest opinion, it doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Kamala Harris running for presidency. We all know behind the scenes there are people that are really making the decisions.
Yes.
So as an outsider, I mean, we're from Europe, right? So it doesn't really affect us. But when the US is talking about democracy and saving democracy, as an outsider looking in, it's really like, clearly there's some very weird stuff happening there, which is not very democratic.
Now that you're mentioning the donations, I read yesterday that she hit a record amount of $81 million.
81, wow.
$81 million in donations in just 24 hours. I mean, that's crazy. All that money is coming from big, large organizations and multinationals and very powerful people that definitely want something in return, because 81 million is a bunch of money.
Yeah, people are acting as if that money was raised with like $10 or $20 donations from regular people. No, baby. That's clearly from lobbyists and people out there that are very rich and want to, I guess, influence the elections. But of course, we should also talk about the flip side of the coin, which is the Republican nominee, Donald Trump.
Yes.
I mean, of course, he has a history of controversy as well. Let's not act like he's this angel or whatever. People are very worried about him becoming the president. I think the main thing with him now is Project 2025. Have you heard about it?
No, not really.
Project 2025 basically it's kind of an agenda that they are trying to push if Donald Trump wins. And I think the main points that everyone is scared about is women losing their rights, like losing rights to do abortion. But to be honest, the way the Democratic Party is advertising it, I'm like, do you really think if that was a real agenda, we simple people would know about it? But at the same time, of course, I understand people being scared of it. I don't know, do you really have a favorite in this race?
No, I don't necessarily have a favorite. And talking again about females, there are a lot of females, also people that I know personally, that are more inclined to vote for Kamala Harris only because she's a female herself. So a lot of women think like, whoa, it would be so awesome if a female became president of the United States. It's such a powerful statement for women. And even though I might agree to it to a certain extent, like I would also love a female to be a president, especially of the United States. But we also have to look at the person herself, you know? Not every woman is fit to be a president.
If you got something to say it to my face.
And it's more important to look at the statements and ideas of that specific person rather than the gender. And just not be like, oh, she's a woman, so I will vote for her. No, it's more
But I think the same
complicated.
goes for Donald Trump. Like, let's not act like one is better than the other. I think both of them are equally controversial. In my opinion, if you're getting to a position where you're gonna be a president or, you know, a presidential nominee, you have some skeletons in your closet. There's
Yeah.
no way you climbed up to that position being a fair, good human being.
No.
Ain't no way. So, in my opinion, if I lived in the US, I would just look at policies that would affect me. Because at the end of the day, you're voting for yourself. You get one chance every 4 years, basically, to have some sort of influence on the course of your country. So use that time to vote for what you believe in and what you think is important. But don't let people guilt you into voting for a certain party just because it's the right thing to do. Because honestly, right now, I'm a firm believer of people that live right now, you don't know what's the right thing to do. Historians will tell in 100 years what the right choice would have been.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And actually, when it comes down to elections, there's always a lot of judgment and like bullying going on. But just stay true to your opinion, to what you feel deep down in your heart, and vote for the person that you like the most. Also, it's very important to not let politics affect our relationships with our parents, with our family, with our
Right.
friends.
Yeah.
Because many times you see people arguing over politics. Of course, the elections are important, most definitely, I'm not denying that. But it's not that important to let it affect your family and your friendships. So be careful of that.
And in my opinion, it goes even further than just friends and family. At the end of the day, it's important that you as a country are unified as well. And I think right now in the United States, but also in other places in the world like Europe, where we're from, people are very divided. You have stark contrasts of what people believe in. It's almost always 50-50 whether it will be the Democratic nominee or the Republican nominee. Which is of course okay because that's democracy and of course people can have a difference of opinion. But don't let it affect who you hang out with or how you judge your neighbor or your next person. Because if you want to be a powerful country that actually goes forward, it's important to be unified.
Yes.
Because if you're not unified yourselves,
True.
the oppositions, the ops, will
Yes.
come for your neck. And that's not what we want. Because America, at the end of the day, is the protector of the free Western world. So...
Yeah. And while the elections are important, it's also good to remember that one person is not gonna change the country or make any big changes. Because a president is just a representative of a party.
Right.
But he can't make any changes unless he gets the approval of the others in the party, of the Senate, of the House of Representatives. Of course, it's also important to do your research and not vote for someone that's very corrupt, but still also remember that it ain't worthy to make such a big deal out of it and let it affect your day-to-day life.
I think also it's important not to idolize the presidential candidates.
Yeah.
That goes both for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I think both sides have very strong opinionated fans that act like their candidate is an angel. Like I said, these people that are in power, they are never going to be good people by the definition in the dictionary. Once the election is over, you're not going to hear anything about either candidate anymore. And 4 years later, all of a sudden, all these controversies and whatever will pop up again.
Yes.
That's just a way to influence you. And I think everyone knows that, but when you're in the moment and when the elections are coming out, you're in the heat of it, it's very easy to get consumed by all those rumors that are going on.
I mean, nowadays it's really a time of technology. We are all on our tablets, on our phones, on our computer the entire day on different platforms. And we consume a lot of information. And many of that information is coming from the media, which are paid by political parties. And those parties, they have the purpose to let the other party look like a total horror or a total bigot or like monsters. We have to keep a certain type of balance and not necessarily see everything as black or white. I mean, there is also some area in between.
And I think when you're talking about black and white, I think the reason that in the US it's so divided is because you have a two-party system. In Europe, I think in almost every European country, you have more than two parties.
Yeah.
For example, where we live, I think we have like 20 different parties. So when you go to vote, like on the ballot, it's this big. It's like you get a whole table just so you can cast your vote because there's so many parties and so many representatives. So I think that's a very big reason why people think black and white. There's no really a middle party. I know in the US you have like the independents or something.
Yeah.
But they have never won, and to be honest, I don't think they are going to win this election. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what I would do if I were a US citizen because it's hard. I mean, you can never agree with every policy from either side.
And I think what also happens many times is that people tend to vote for people that their family votes for or their friends. It kind of goes like that in generations. But in order to put an end to the division and all the drama, we have to start thinking for ourselves, doing research for ourselves. Take the time. You don't have to take a year, just a couple hours, and read about both parties, the good side and the bad side. Write it down for yourself or in your mind, put it in a list, and then come to the conclusion which one fits you the best. We are all different.
Yeah, but when you're talking about writing stuff down, I can understand that a working class citizen like we are in our country, to be honest, you don't really care about politics all that much. Like every 4 years you're reminded of it and you know that you have to go and cast your vote. But writing stuff down and doing your research, I don't know. To be honest, that's a lot of work for people, even for me. In my country, I have never written stuff down about parties to make a choice.
That's true, yet at the same time, that's the reason why we keep being in such a turmoil and why every 4 years there's such a controversy. Like you said, most of the citizens, they go to work, they come home, they eat, they spend time with their families, and that's fine. But they don't find the time to think about their country and the big picture.
I mean, do you think about your country in the big picture?
Well, not every day. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think about it.
Let's keep it real.
I don't think about it in my day-to-day life. But when it's election time, I do my research. I'm not gonna give my vote to someone that in the end will be bad for my country or for myself.
And at the end of the day, even if the party wins that you weren't voting for, it's important to just accept it. You can't change it, and for the coming 4 years, that will be the party that will lead your country. And in your day-to-day life, I mean, of course, now with the wars going on in the world, you might, see that the prices are rising and stuff like that. But with a lot of other policies, in your day-to-day life, you're not even going to see a difference. Guys, The pasta was so good. I mean, honestly, I'm devouring these.
Yeah, I also love it very much. I have to be honest and say that I didn't eat that much because we are talking. But like the bites that I took are really yummy. I mean, pasta, who doesn't love pasta? It's so yummy. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. And please comment down below what you think about the elections and how it's affecting your day-to-day life and the relationships you have with your family and friends. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much and see you in the next.
Bye.